What is going on, sports fans? Welcome back to the Roger Report, where we bring you the hottest takes and the biggest stories first. We've got a jam-packed show today, starting with Caitlin Clark and that absolutely savage timeout gesture that had the Minnesota Lynx coach seeing red. Then, we dive deep into the Minnesota Lynx's tough loss, even with their top seed locked up, and what it means for their playoff run. Plus, we're breaking down the Indiana Fever's impressive season finale win without their superstar. And finally, Caitlin Clark opens up about the internal battles she's been fighting off the court. You do not want to miss this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment. Caitlin Clark, the undisputed queen of making waves, just dropped another mic drop moment on the court. During the Indiana Fever's season finale against the Minnesota Lynx, after her team went on a scorching 10-0 run, Clark didn't just celebrate, she fired off a timeout signal directly at Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve. This wasn't just a game. It was a masterclass in psychological warfare, blurring the lines between fierce competition and pure, unadulterated swagger. Even though Clark has been sidelined by injuries, limiting her to just 13 games this season, her presence and impact are undeniable. The Indiana Fever managed to secure a crucial 83-72 victory over the league-leading Lynx, showcasing their depth and resilience. But the real story is how Clark, even from the bench, continues to dominate headlines and influence the game. Her sideline status has undeniably impacted WNBA ratings, proving that the league's investment hinges on its brightest star. Fans are buzzing about this bold move, with many calling it a defining moment of Clark's fearless approach to the game. Don't go anywhere, we're just getting started. Next up, we're dissecting how the short-handed Lynx managed to fall despite locking up the top seed. The Minnesota Lynx, despite already clinching the top seed in the WNBA playoffs, suffered an 83-72 defeat against the Indiana Fever in their penultimate regular season game. This loss was particularly stinging, as the Lynx were without key players Nafisa Collier, who was resting, and Johnny Carrington, sidelined by a shoulder injury. Even with these absences, the Lynx expected more, especially after a dominant performance by the Fever, who led by as many as 24 points in the fourth quarter. The Lynx managed to narrow the deficit in the final minutes, avoiding their worst loss of the season, but the performance highlighted some vulnerabilities. Coach Cheryl Reeve acknowledged the team's struggles with making shots and the lack of a consistent mindset. This game served as a crucial test for the Lynx as they head into the postseason, emphasizing the need for all players to step up, regardless of their opponent's status. Fans are dissecting the team's shooting woes, particularly from beyond the arc where they struggled significantly against the Fever. But how did the Fever pull off this upset without their biggest star? We've got the details next. In a stunning upset to close out their regular season, the Indiana Fever, playing without their injured superstar Caitlin Clark, secured an impressive 83-72 victory over the league-leading Minnesota Lynx. This win marked a franchise record for most wins in a season for the Fever, who finished with a 20-20 record. Kelsey Mitchell led the charge with 18 points, supported by Odyssey Sims' 15 points, while Aaliyah Boston contributed 12 points and grabbed 8 rebounds, setting a new club record for rebounds in a season. The Fever set the tone early, opening the game with a commanding 10-0 run and extending their lead to as many as 24 points. Meanwhile, the Lynx, who had already clinched the top playoff seed, were resting MVP candidate Nafisa Collier and also without Johnny Carrington due to injury. Despite Jessica Shepard scoring 16 points for Minnesota, the Lynx struggled mightily from three-point range, hitting only 2 of their 20 attempts. This victory underscores the Fever's resilience and depth as they head into the playoffs, proving they can compete even without Clark. Fans are celebrating this milestone win, highlighting the team's growth throughout the season. While the Fever celebrated a win, Caitlin Clark is dealing with her own challenges off the court. We'll get into that next. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's most electrifying rookie, is revealing a more personal side as her season ends prematurely due to injury. In a candid reflection for the Back to School with Lily campaign, Clark opened up about the internal struggle she constantly navigates, the balance between her intense competitiveness and her emotional nature. She explained that while her fiery drive fuels her success on the court, learning to control and channel those emotions has been a lifelong challenge. Clark acknowledged that being emotional is part of what makes her a great player, but also recognized it can be a liability if not managed. This introspection comes as she faces the disappointment of a season cut short by a groin injury, compounded by earlier issues. Despite averaging impressive numbers in her limited 13 games, her absence has significantly impacted the Fever and WNBA viewership. Fans are resonating with Clark's honesty, seeing this as a sign of her maturity and dedication to growth beyond the game. Her journey highlights the pressures faced by young stars and the importance of mental resilience. That's all the news for today, but we're not done yet. Stick around for a rapid-fire recap of all the top stories and your full call to action. And that's a wrap on today's explosive episode of the Roger Report. We saw Caitlin Clark's savage timeout taunt against the Lynx, the Minnesota Lynx battling through injuries in a tough loss, the Indiana Fever closing their season with a record-breaking win without Clark, and Caitlin Clark sharing her personal journey of managing competitiveness and emotions. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more exclusive sports content, and ring that notification bell so you're always the first to know when we drop new videos. Follow us on all social media platforms to join the conversation and stay up to date with the latest breaking news. We'll see you in the next one.